What's going on, fellas? An interesting subscriber request. This guy asked me to essentially, I guess I'm gonna just sum it up to, my history with women nature and how I came to, being or living my life the way I live it now, promoting this alpha mentality type deal. In order for me to tell that, pretty much I gotta go back to how I was raised essentially and what I saw around me in my environment. Pretty much raised my whole family, just a bunch of strong black women pretty much. I noticed this at a very young age, but my mom's was a single mom for a while, so it takes a lot to be a single mom with 3 kids and raising them and working a job, taking care of bills and stuff, so taking care of business. My mom's always been strong like that, and I support her to the fullest. That's why I don't disrespect women, but at the same time, what I noticed when around the age of 7, when she got married to my stepdad, was from a man's standpoint, when the man comes in, he's supposed to be the head of the household, right? That's how I was raised throughout, my whole life. Very family strong in the church, so I was raised like that. Man's supposed to be a head of the household. But the thing was, even when they got married and stuff, nothing really changed. Throughout the whole time they were together, nothing changed. My mom stayed paying the bills. She stayed, the head as far as, taking care of the money, paying the bills, making sure that the kids was fed, making sure that, we got to school on time, making sure that, everything was pretty much taken care of. She did that. And she still held the, the britches in the household. I can't take that away from her. She always did. But what I noticed was it wasn't right. Even at a young age, I understood that wasn't how it was supposed to be. Whereas my mom had a lot of pressure on her. A real man's supposed to step up and be the head of the household. A real man's supposed to take control. And, I kind of noticed that even in their relationship, like, I would see beta traits in him. I would see how, he would respond to certain things that she did, how he would act in certain instances if there's a disagreement or argument or stuff like that. So, some things I picked up from there. What I pretty much learned from that was that women don't respect men that can't handle their own. Men that don't take charge, men that aren't leaders, they don't respect them. You can love somebody like that, but you cannot respect them. And as a man, you got to get the respect from the female, because if not, she's just going to walk all over you, take control, be in her masculine all the time, which happens a lot with the women in my family. There's strong women in my family. There's a lot of strong women. So that's what I was raised around. So that's kind of what I got at an early age. When that translated to me, getting girls and stuff, when I got into, I don't know, back in the early elementary school or whatever, we always did the little, kissing, innocent kissing type stuff. And, we started having our first crushes and stuff. I didn't really, get the gist of what was going on with girls until around middle school. That's when I started to really understand, what girls are, kind of into, what I'm saying? And yes, when you start finding yourself or whatever, but, what I noticed was I was charming. I was able to charm girls, right? So I was able to get them to like me. I was, they thought I was cute or whatever. So, I was able to charm them. That kind of went into middle school and stuff like that. I noticed the change right around 8th grade, last year, middle school type stuff. I just remember talking to this one girl in my neighborhood, that lived across the way or whatever. I met her at a park, and that's when I first got introduced to, a woman's nature, a girl's nature at our age, at their respective ages, being a teenager or whatever, they didn't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They only really fucked with guys who were, bad boys, essentially. That's when I first got introduced to that. And I understood that because, the chick I was talking to, come to find out, I'm spending all this time trying to, charm her and be all cute and shit. And she liked it. But at the same time, I see that these other 2 guys, they had already got head from her and did all this other shit. And I'm sitting here taking my time with this chick. I'm like, what the fuck? That's when I realized, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? From how I was raised, I was, raised to think this about women and this and that. And like I said, with movies, what they tell you is you need to act this way around a woman. You need to be this way. And I did that kind of stuff. It worked, but it wasn't it's the difference between a chick seeing you as cute. Oh, he's cute. But a chick wanted to fuck you, that's what you want. That's what I realized what I wanted in high school. I realized that. And, you know, I did act up. I started acting up. I started trying to change myself and like kind of start hanging around with not necessarily the best crowd, but I got a hint at what women would be not just attracted to, but what they would seek, like what women sought, or girls at that age, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, high school girls, it's all superficial. High school was so superficial. It was totally about, you know, who had the most status pretty much. Athletes got the hoes, you know, the pretty boys or whatever, they got some play too. I remember coming back from a practice one time, bro, you trying to run train on this and that chick, and you know, these chicks are coming through or whatever. I was just so baffled. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Y'all talking about running train on it? Like, we all take turns, like, fucking her? Like, that type shit? Like, it was a wake-up call for me. Like, my freshman year, I think that was like my freshman or sophomore year, something like that. That's when I started to get that, you know, it's not necessarily about being a nice guy. It's not necessarily about going about it the right way, because obviously if that was the case, then, you know, I would have got played a lot faster than these other guys that was just, you know, running through chicks. And that wasn't the case. So I knew that something wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of when I started changing my thought process. And then what happened also with that, later that same year, group of guys on the team actually got caught up with a few girls, and they actually, I think this is before the Me Too era or whatever, the girls called the cops on them and made a case that they got raped, even though these chicks were known as hoes, like throughout the whole entire, I'm not gonna say the whole entire school, but certain, you know, groups around the school knew that these girls were hoes. And they sat here and claimed that, you know, they got raped or whatever, which, you know, I'm not saying it was or it wasn't, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just with the, it's like, based off of the setting, like, you were invited somewhere, you hopped in a car with them, you went to their place, and shit went down, but you gonna come back and say that, you know, it was a rape thing situation, like, a week or two later. Got these boys arrested, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember exactly what happened with that, but I know it turned out to the guys, or one of the guys, getting kicked out at least, and, you know, getting off the team at the very least. So, you know, a couple of those guys are good ballers, and they could have got scholarships. They could have, you know, had something going on for them as far as, you know, football-wise or whatever. But, you know, it really sucked. It really sucked to see that kind of stuff. And that's when I learned, like, you know, these hoes out here is ruthless. And that's when I learned to not, you know, end stuff on a bad note, because, you know, even before this Me Too shit, you can't end stuff on a bad note with a chick. You know what I'm saying? If you messing with her, you gotta make sure that she's complying, she's consenting. So I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, have sex with a chick and then, you know, kick her out, or be like, you know, just do some rude ass shit right after, and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you always face that risk. I'm not scared of that, because I don't think that would happen to me. That's never happened to me in any case. But I'm just saying, that's when I learned how to be, that you got to be careful, man. You really got to be careful. Not only you got to be careful with getting a chick pregnant or getting an STD, you got to be careful because these chicks could claim, literally, these chicks can claim anything. They can literally claim anything, because when that kind of case happens, the law is going to be more favorable on their side. You know, I learned a lot of things, and that kind of translated. When I got into college, though, yeah, I was just no bars hold. I just didn't give a fuck. I was out here, you know, dicking these hoes down. It was just, you know, it is what it is type deal. Like, I was not after a relationship. That's when I learned that cuteness, being cute and all that shit, it did not fly. You know what I'm saying? That's when I learned seduction. That's when I learned that you have to literally feel the vibe of a chick, you know, the body language, getting that kind of aura going around both of y'all. Like, when y'all interacting, when you're looking at a chick, when you're like talking to her, you got to get a certain vibe going to get her to like feel you in that way. Because, you know, in college, everybody's pretty much a loose cannon. And what I realized looking back on it, pretty much everybody just shared each other, even in high school, really. But, you know, college was a different story. So, you know, that's when I really got my feel for trying to be like a ladies' man, so to speak, trying to get girls and, you know, really fool around and get all these different chicks. Now, coming to this day now, you know, when I'm post-college, like young professional type deal, I'm understanding that, you know, it's a different level to it now. Like, I don't really value just getting some play, like you know, some regular, like that's when it comes to standards. Like, I don't really value just getting some play. Like, I really want to be able to get in a chick's, you know, mind and really have her infatuated with me. That's what I really want. I want a girl to be infatuated with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just after getting the pussy and then just, oh, going about our business. No, I want to get the pussy, and then I want you to come back for more, because you see how great I am. You see how much value that I'm bringing to you. You know, not just in the bedroom or whatever, but just in general, like being around me. You just like being around me. You like my presence. That's what I want now. I don't want just a quick fuck and we go about our business. You know, if you add it to rotation, that's definitely not what you want. But, you know, every now and then I guess it's all right. But in general, that's what I'm looking for, because it's more than just that. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be enjoyable unless you're able to, you know, spark something more than just, you know, some kind of just, yeah, we fucked and it's over. Like, I want more than that. I mean, I guess overall I've learned that, you know, with women nature, going back from, you know, my stepdad, they don't respect weak men, and you really can't respect a weak man in general. You're not going to get the respect of anybody, even other males. As a weak man, you have to be about your business. You have to be a leader. You have to be your own boss type deal. That's what I've really learned, and that's what attracts these women. That's what gets them coming back for more. That kind of, like, you know, selfishness where, you know, I'm focused here. If you want to be a part of my team, you're gonna have to be with it. If you're not, then you gotta go. You know, that's the type of lifestyle that I want to live. First and foremost, guys, success. I put out that last video, success, guys. I want to see all y'all striving for that. But in general, guys, that's what somebody's gonna respect. That's what a woman's gonna respect. You being your own boss, you know, learning all this shit about women, and there's still a lot more to learn. It's still a lot of trial and error, but we all gonna learn together. We all gonna continue to get better at the practices that we do, the strategies, or whatever you want to call it, and just game in general. It's a ever-evolving industry, you know, especially with the social media thing. Back when I was in school, I was probably in middle school with MySpace. Facebook popped off when I was in, like, high school or whatever. When I was, like, first into high school, Facebook popped off, and that's when that social media thing started happening. Fast forward to now, how we got all these dating apps. It used to be socially unacceptable. Now it's okay to do it. Now it's seen as, you know, kind of separate type of thing where people don't have time to meet people in person. I still promote the in real life approach, but, you know, it's a different age today, guys. You really got to be on your P's and Q's. Whereas a weak man, even back then, was seen as just absolutely undesirable, it's even more prevalent now. Chicks don't give a fuck. They are ruthless. They are cutthroat. That is what I've learned. Women nature, it's like a freaking ocean. It's like waves. It comes and it goes. It's at its high point. It's at its low point. It's just a bunch of stuff that you really have to learn to understand. You really have to do a lot of trial and error to get. And, you know, it's ever changing. You're not going to be able to figure out a woman completely. We don't try to, you know, from the standpoint of interacting with them. We ain't trying to figure it out completely. We just want to know how to get in their head to get more out of them. Get in their head and keep them coming back. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all the support. I'm going to keep grinding, keep putting these videos out. As far as the business side goes, I'm working on a website to get, you know, this credit consulting going so I can help guys out from a more business standpoint, something that you guys really need, that I really want you guys focusing on, you know, building up your credit so you can take business risk. You can't take business risk if you can't get the loan to take the risk. If you can't get approved for a house, you can't do anything. So, you know, I want to gear you guys more towards becoming higher value men, and that's one of the steps there. So, you know, that's gonna keep these chicks coming back also. So make yourself great, and, you know, women nature's a bitch, but it is what it is. Y'all be easy. Deuces.